Now, Riaan Smit, who has been singing for at least 20 years, is a singer who does not have a genre but is most commonly associated with folk and gypsy music and is a familiar singer at Swakopmund Sound Garden. He is currently joining us telephonically to talk to us about his musical journey and so much more. A very good evening, Mr. Smit. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you. Happy to be here.
All right. Now, Mr. Smith, let's get to know you. Who is Riaan Smit?
Well, I guess I'm a boy from Windhoek. I was born in Windhoek about a couple of years back, and then I ended up going off to Cape Town and ended up from Cape Town to Barcelona to America to the Caribbean. And I've been a musician my whole life, and I've been lucky enough that the music took me all over the world, and then also took me back home.
Right. Now, you've been in the music industry for at least 20 years now. Talk to us about some of the highs and the lows you've experienced.
I'd say the highs and lows. To go with the highs, I've been able to play in front of over 40,000 people at a time in places like Bushfire, Swaziland. Having played every festival that South Africa has, and just seeing these amazing crowds and performing with a band that's also Namibians, and taking something that starts in a garage with a dream, and then from there you go from that garage, and these people actually over years of just going small gigs to bigger gigs to bigger gigs to eventually you see the where you hear people singing your songs back at you. If you hear 40,000 voices singing your song back at you, it feels pretty powerful.
Now, we're celebrating Family Day today. Kindly just talk to us about the importance of family and also how do you celebrate the day?
Oh, it's the importance of family. I can't stress enough. I was lucky enough to have a very influential family in terms of music and things that they gave me their knowledge and their influence on that. And the family I have around the world that I barely see, but I get to connect with. Last night I had a beautiful WhatsApp phone call with a bunch of my family in the Karoo, and it was nice just to see all their faces on that split screen and just the laughs that we still have. And even if you're not in the same room, technology allows us to speak to them. So that's what I spend my day doing, speaking to family from around the world. It was lovely.
All right. Now, perhaps if you could just talk about some of the events you have lined up before the year comes to an end. Where can the public see you?
My final three shows for the year will be this Wednesday, the 28th at Soundgarden in Swakopmund. And then Friday, we're doing a Carnival of Flames, which is a giant at the in Swakopmund as well at the Paintball Center. It's a put on by Evolve Fire Show. So it's a giant stage put together, a steampunk show with fire and flames and aerialists and dancers. I'll be the MC for that show, so I'm very, very much looking forward to being involved with that. And then Saturday, then it's New Year's Eve at Rojo's in Walfish Bay. So there'll be two shows in Swakop and in Walfish Bay for New Year's Eve at Rojo's.
Amazing. So you basically have your set sorted before the year comes to an end.
Absolutely. And then I'm taking a good month to write a whole new album. So I'll be taking off January just to work on my next album.
Right. Now, what can we look forward to 2023? What are some of the projects that you've been working on or that you will be working on?
Well, I've taken up producing quite strongly since I've gotten back to Namibia. So I'm going to be releasing a lot of Namibian music, a lot of local artists here I've been working with in the past year. I'm developing. So besides my own album that I'm finalizing and releasing next year, I'll be working with about 15 local Namibian acts and helping them get their music out there, so they can hopefully get the same opportunities I got out there.
Right. I mean, you did mention you having international gigs earlier on in the interview. Are there any international countries that you perhaps would want to visit come 2023?
I'll be going to the Caribbean again in March, as well as Mexico. And this year I managed to get to Spain and I managed to get to Germany. So I hope to go back there again next year and hopefully also America, Arizona in June. So those are the plans. Lots of South Africa plans, though. Lots of that.
All right. Now we do have, those little young boys and girls, at home and they do want to, tap into music. As a musician yourself, what is some of the advice that you'll give them?
I would say take advice from people that have walked that road. Speak to the elders. The elders always know. If you can find a musician who's been doing it for a while, ask them questions. They're happy to share that knowledge. A lot of us get advice from people who have no idea. Music's not a very well traveled road. There's not a lot of people who've walked that path. And a lot of time they'll take advice from people who've never walked that road. They'll give them advice to go into pop idols or sing a style of music they're not comfortable with. I would say The best thing for any young musician to do is to meet others who love what they do, also so that they can have a community. And to know that they're not alone, because there's a lot of people out there who love it. And also speak to the elders, because there's so much knowledge they can give you, not just on what to do, but what to avoid, what not to do. Speak to people and learn from the elders. And that's why I got lucky being in South Africa, being in Americas. I spent a lot of time with elder musicians who could show me a path that no one back here really knew. And so the advice I'd give there is to do that and work every day. Do it every day because it's not a hobby. It can be a great career. And if you really love it, you can do it. And it doesn't matter what it is you're doing. If you really love it, and you put that time in, you can get it right.
Right, you actually got me there by speaking to the elders. I mean, we know that you do play the guitar. If you could perhaps just give us a little a cappella before we let you go and check out your music video.
Oh, sure thing. Let's see. An acapella. What's one? A new song I've been working on. It goes, something that occurred to me is how crazy life can be when you don't know where you want to go. When you're feeling all alone, there's nothing happening on the phone in your house. Just doesn't feel like home. I'd love to go back to the start and fix it all forward. All fell apart, but that's not how things go. The lessons I've learned from the bridges I've burned, the corners I've turned, the gifts I've earned, I'd give it all back just to know. And that's one of the lines from the new song I'm working on.
Right, now what inspires your music?
Everyday life. I'd say you can write about anything. It's it's how it makes you feel at the time. And what I'll generally do is try to feel quite organic. Is if you can write a song the way you speak, the way you tell the story. And inspiration is one of those things that if you're looking for that to write a song, you won't find it. I think it's something you sit down and work every day. If you sit down at your table and you work at it every day, you'll write 100 stories a day. One of them might become a song. And
Now,
I'd
Mr.
say, yeah.
Yes, I mean, you did mention you have three shows before the year comes to an end. Will you perhaps be giving away a few tickets to our viewers watching at home right now?
I'd be able to do so for, I'd say, I'd say for Wednesday's show, I can definitely give away tickets. That's at Soundgarden. So they can name one of my songs and see if we can give it to them.
So that is the question. Name one of your songs.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, we'll definitely post it on our social media pages and we'll definitely keep in touch with you for the tickets for our viewers.
Thank you very much. We'll do that.
Mr.
Thank
Smith,
you.
thank you so much for joining us this evening. We wish you all the best with the rest of Family Day.
Thank you very much for the chat. We'll chat soon.
All
Thank
right.
you.
That was Riaan Smit joining us this evening for our entertainment segment.